Mike Wofford. He was an American jazz pianist and composer. Throughout his career, he worked as an accompanist for vocalists such as Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald. Beginning in the 1960s, he gained recognition within the jazz world for albums including Strawberry Wine and Summer Night. Over the years, he collaborated with a number of prominent musicians, among them Shorty Rogers, Bud Shank, Joe Pass, Shelly Manne, Kenny Burrell, and Zoot Sims. At the age of 7, he began studying classical piano at a neighborhood music store. Among his early musical inspirations were Bela Bartok, Igor Stravinsky, Paul Hindemith, John Cage, and Art Tatum. He was also active in television and film scoring, contributing to projects including M*A**S**H, The Godfather, The Bill Cosby Show, and You've Got Mail. In addition, he participated in pop music sessions with artists such as Joan Baez, the Jackson 5, John Lennon, and Cher. Died September 19th, he was 87 years due to hyponatremia. Rudy Johnson. He was an American professional football player who played as a running back in the National Football League for 8 seasons. The Cincinnati Bengals selected him in the 4th round of the 2001 NFL Draft. He started playing football at the age of 6 with the Ettrick Trojans in the Chesterfield Quarterback League. In high school, he competed for the Thomas Dale Knights under head coach Victor Williams, contributing on both offense and defense. Following the path of former Knights standouts Ken Oxendine and William Henderson, he went on to break the school's rushing record, surpassing the mark previously held by his friend, mentor, and coach Henry Jefferson. Johnson played a key role during the 2005 season, when the Bengals advanced to the playoffs for the first time in 15 years. He was born 1979 and died September 23rd. He was 45 years, cause is not given. Ron Carroll. He was an American DJ, singer, songwriter, and record producer, best known for his work in the house music scene. Carroll collaborated with several well-known house music producers, including East Move, Maurice Joshua, Bob Sinclair, and Rod Carrillo. He also produced tracks, often alongside his partner Spiro Pagos, both for other vocalists and for his own recordings. He wrote the lyrics for 6 tracks in Stingley's album The Purist and also wrote and produced the anthem The Sermon. In 1996, he met Greek-American producer Spiro Pagos, and together they established MOS Productions for the UC/After Hours label. In 2003, Carroll's work as a vocalist in Europe led to a collaboration with the Dutch production duo Hardsoul, resulting in the track Back Together. The following year, he wrote and performed What a Wonderful World for Bob Sinclair and Axwell, which was later included on Sinclair's 2004 album Enjoy. Died September 21st, he was 45 years, died due to heart attack. Claudia Cardinali. She was an Italian actress. Beginning in 1963, Cardinali appeared in The Pink Panther alongside David Niven. She later took roles in Hollywood productions such as Blindfold, 1965, Lost Command, The Professionals, and several others. In 1974, Cardinali began a relationship with director Pasquale Squitieri, who became both her partner and frequent collaborator. She appeared in several of his films, including Blood Brothers, 1974, Father of the Godfathers, and Claretta. Her performance in Claretta earned her the Nastro d'Argento Award for Best Actress. In 1960, Cardinali appeared opposite Marcello Mastroianni in Mauro Bolognini's drama The Beautiful Antonio, which won the Golden Leopard at the Locarno International Film Festival. Died September 23rd. She was 87 years, died due to natural causes. Sonny Curtis. He was an American singer and songwriter, best known for his collaborations with Buddy Holly. As a member of the Crickets, he remained with the group following Holly's death. Over the course of his career, he was inducted into 3 music halls of fame, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. As a guitarist, he performed on several of Buddy Holly's early Decca sessions in 1956, contributing to the minor hit Blue Days, Black Nights, as well as Rock Around with Ollie V, a song he wrote. He remained associated with the Crickets for more than 6 decades, recording and performing with the group on an intermittent basis. His later work with them included the album The Crickets and Their Buddies, which featured new versions of many of their classic songs alongside contributions from prominent guest musicians. Although Curtis left the band on several occasions to focus on a solo career, he continued to make periodic appearances with the Crickets both in live performances and on recordings. Died September 19th, he was 88 years, died due to pneumonia. Harold Serafin. He was an Austrian operatic baritone, as well as an actor and television presenter. He studied voice and music at the Vienna Conservatory, where he trained as a baritone. Serafin became known primarily as an opera and operetta singer, with a particular focus on Viennese operetta. He performed in leading opera houses across Austria and Germany and gained wide recognition for his interpretations of roles in works by Johann Strauss II, Franz Lehár, and Emmerich Kallmann. From 1992, Serafin served as artistic director of the Cephas-Spiel Morbisch, one of Europe's largest operetta festivals, where he helped to modernize productions and expand the festival's international profile. Over the course of his career, Serafin has received numerous honors, including state awards from Austria for his contributions to music and culture. Died September 15th, he was 93 years. Buddy Bailey. He was an American professional baseball manager and major league coach, with a career spanning 45 years, including 35 seasons as a minor league manager. Bailey served as manager of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans of the Carolina League through the 2024 season, after which he was succeeded by Giovanni Cuevas in 2025. In his first year managing the Pelicans in 2016, he guided the team to a league championship. Died September 23rd, he was 68 years due to cancer. Voddie Baucham. An American pastor, writer, and academic, he spent 9 years as the Dean of Theology at the African Christian University in Lusaka, Zambia. For many years, Baucham engaged in itinerant ministry largely in Texas and was also a speaker at several of the early Passion conferences during the late 1990s. In 2007, he was featured in Vision Forum's documentary Return of the Daughters, where he commented that the United States was facing what he described as an epidemic of unprotected women. In 2022, Baucham was honored with the Boniface Award by the Association of Classical Christian Schools, an award presented to public figures considered to have upheld Christian principles of truth, beauty, and goodness with integrity. Died September 25th, he was 56 years. Died after suffering an emergency medical incident. Belva Davis. She was an American broadcast journalist who became the first African-American woman to work as a television reporter on the West Coast of the United States. Over the course of her career, she received 8 Emmy Awards and was honored by both the American Women in Radio and Television and the National Association of Black Journalists. Davis started her career in 1957 as a freelance magazine writer and, a few years later, moved into radio and television reporting. Her work as a journalist included coverage of major contemporary issues such as race, gender, and politics. She later served as a news anchor and hosted a talk show, retiring in 2012. In 1961, Davis began working as an on-air interviewer for KSAN, a San Francisco AM station with a rhythm and blues format aimed at Black audiences in the Bay Area. She made her first television appearance in 1963 on Oakland's KTVU, where she reported on an African-American beauty pageant. Died September 24th, she was 92 years due to long illness. Henry Jaglom. He was an American actor, playwright, and filmmaker. Trained by Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio in New York, Jaglom performed, wrote, and directed in off-Broadway theater and cabaret before relocating to Hollywood in the late 1960s. Jaglom studied under Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio in New York, where he worked in off-Broadway theater and cabaret as an actor, writer, and director before moving to Hollywood in the late 1960s. He appeared in television series such as Gidget and The Flying Nun, and had film roles including Richard Rush's Psych Out, 1968. Jaglom entered filmmaking by assisting Jack Nicholson with the editing of Dennis Hopper's Easy Rider, 1969, and later made his debut as both writer and director with A Safe Place. Jaglom authored 4 plays that were staged in Los Angeles, beginning with The Waiting Room, 1974. Died September 22, 2025, he was 87 years, due to heart attack. Billy Viga. He was an English professional footballer who played as a forward. He started out in Arsenal's youth academy before continuing his career in non-league football. He went on to make 37 appearances for Eastborough Borough. After leaving Arsenal in 2024, he signed with Hastings United, where he featured in 13 matches across all competitions. In 2025, Viga joined Chichester City, making 5 appearances and scoring 2 goals. In July 2022, he signed his first professional contract with the club, though he did not make an appearance for the senior team. He was born 2003 and died September 25, 2025. He was 21 years, due to brain injury. Hernán Romero. He was a Peruvian actor who made his stage debut on December 14, 1961, with a role at the TUC. Over the course of his career, he performed in numerous plays, radio dramas, photo novels, and soap operas, and began working in television in 1965. He later enrolled at the Catholic University to study law, but during his time there discovered his interest and talent for the performing arts. Died September 23, 2025. He was 83 years, due to a stroke. Danny Thompson. He was an English multi-instrumentalist, best known for his work as a double bassist. Over a long career, he performed with numerous artists, most notably Richard Thompson and John Martin. From 1964 to 1967, he was a member of Alexis Corner's Blues Incorporated before leading a trio with guitarist John McLaughlin. He later became a founding member of the British folk jazz group Pentangle. Between 1987 and 2012, he released 6 solo albums, and in 1990 he converted to Islam. In the early 1980s, he collaborated with documentary filmmaker Roy Deverell, composing the scores for 2 of Deverell's award-winning films, Echo of the Wild and A Passion to Protect. Died September 23, 2025. He was 86 years, due to a heart attack. André Lanzat. He was a Dutch-American film and television actor, best known for his 1981 role as Tony Cassadine in the American soap opera General Hospital. After training with Furette, he began his screen career in 1967 with an appearance in the television series When Freedom Came from Heaven. Following this early work, he emigrated to the United States and settled in New York, where he studied acting under Lee Strasberg. Lanzat made guest appearances on television series such as The $6 Million Man, Family, Laverne and Shirley, and The Yellow Rose. He was also known for his role as Tony Cassadine on General Hospital in 1981, and later portrayed Rudolph Sticker on Medish Centrum West beginning in 1989. Died September 22, 2025. He was 81 years. Ray Lane. He was a sportscaster from Detroit, Michigan. During the late 1940s, he participated in baseball and basketball as a student at Mackenzie High School. In 1949, he entered Michigan State University, where he played baseball for the Spartans and later graduated with a degree in communications. Beginning in 1967, Lane partnered with Ernie Harwell on radio broadcasts for the Detroit Tigers. He later joined the team's television coverage in 1999. Over the course of his career, Lane also provided commentary for the Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, Detroit Red Wings, as well as football games for both the University of Michigan and Michigan State, and basketball for the University of Detroit. In addition to his play-by-play work, he served as sports director at WJBK-TV and later at WKBD. He was born 1930 and died September 27th. He was 95 years. Russell M. Nelson. He was an American surgeon and religious leader who became the 17th president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Nelson served in the Quorum of the 12 Apostles for almost 34 years and was appointed Quorum President in 2015. In his role as church president, he was regarded by members as a prophet, seer, and revelator. He went on to spend nearly 3 decades practicing cardiothoracic surgery. During his medical career, Nelson gained recognition as a heart surgeon and held leadership roles as president of both the Society for Vascular Surgery and the Utah Medical Association. He was born 1924 and died September 27th. He was 101 years. George Stephan Troller. He was an Austrian-born French journalist, filmmaker, and screenwriter. While in the United States, he was drafted into the military in 1943 and later took part in the liberation and documentation of the Dachau concentration camp on April 29, 1945, as well as the capture of Munich on May 1st. Troller gained prominence with his program Pariser Journal, which began airing on ARD television in 1962. In 1971, he introduced the series Description of a Person on ZDF, featuring unconventional interview formats. His guests included prominent figures such as Marlon Brando and Brigitte Bardot, among others. His thoughtful and often critical interview style resonated with audiences and established him as an influential figure for many journalists. Several of his screenplays, later directed by Axel Cordy, went on to achieve cult status. He was born 1921 and died September 27th. He was 103 years. Sean Clark. He was an American college football coach who became the head coach at Appalachian State University in 2019. By 2025, he was serving as the offensive line coach at the University of Central Florida. Throughout his career, Clark coached more than a dozen offensive linemen who went on to play in the NFL, including 6 who were selected in the draft, among them Cooper Hodges, Larry Turner, and Bo Nunn. Clark became the offensive line coach at Appalachian State in 2016 under head coach Scott Satterfield, and was promoted to assistant head coach in 2019. Clark's first full season as head coach of the Mountaineers coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted schedules and football operations nationwide. Clark was married to Jonelle, and together they had 2 children, Gianna and Braxton. He was born 1975 and died September 21st. He was 50 years. Clark was hospitalized after an undisclosed medical emergency. Bill Ferrario. He was an American professional football player who played as a guard in the National Football League, most notably with the Green Bay Packers. At the collegiate level, he competed for the Wisconsin Badgers. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, he was a second-team All-Big Ten selection as a guard and a key blocker for 1999 Heisman Trophy winner Ron Dayne. He started all 50 games of his college career, becoming only the 3rd player in Big Ten history to reach that mark. He contributed to Wisconsin's consecutive Rose Bowl victories in 1999, and within the program ranks tied for 4th in total starts, with his streak of 50 consecutive starts tied for the 2nd longest in school history. Following his NFL career, Ferrario settled in Wausau, Wisconsin, where he worked in real estate before transitioning into the medical sales industry. Died September 24, 2025, he was 47 years. Franz Grundheber. He was a German operatic baritone who became a longtime member of the Hamburg State Opera, where he performed more than 150 roles beginning in 1966. Known for both his vocal versatility and stage presence, he sang a wide repertoire ranging from Italian opera to Wagner and contemporary works. He appeared at major international opera houses and was especially recognized for his portrayal of the title role in Alban Berg's Wozzeck, which was filmed in a 1994 production directed by Patrice Chéreau. Grundheber joined the Hamburg State Opera in 1966, where he began his career by taking on smaller roles in a variety of productions. In December 1968, he appeared in the world premiere of Giancarlo Minaudi's Help! The Globalinks. Died September 27, 2025, he was 88 years. Roberto Russo. He was an Italian film director, screenwriter, and photographer, best known for his 1983 film Flirt. He started his professional career as a photographer before turning to filmmaking. He later gained recognition through his collaborations with Italian actress Monica Vitti, creating several projects for both film and television. In 1988, he directed his first feature film, the comedy Francesca e Mia, which he also co-wrote. Died September 20, 2025, he was 77 years, due to cancer. Lally Weymouth. She was an American journalist who served as a senior associate editor at The Washington Post. Earlier in her career, she worked as a special diplomatic correspondent for Newsweek magazine during the period of her family's ownership of the publication. Weymouth was educated at the Madeira School and later graduated cum laude from Radcliffe College at Harvard University with a degree in American history and literature. Weymouth later became a senior associate editor at The Washington Post, where she focused on foreign affairs and, beginning in 1986, conducted exclusive interviews with numerous heads of state. She gained particular recognition for securing interviews that were otherwise difficult to obtain, including a notable 1984 interview with Saddam Hussein. Died September 29, 2025. She was 82 years, due to pancreatic cancer at her home. Jorgen Leth. He was a Danish poet and filmmaker regarded as a key figure in experimental documentary cinema. His best-known works include the documentary A Sunday in Hell, 1977, and the surrealist short film The Perfect Human, 1968. In addition to his filmmaking, he also worked as a sports commentator for Danish television and was associated with the production company Sunset Productions. Leth directed his first film in 1963 and went on to create more than 40 others, many of which were distributed internationally. Among his most acclaimed works is the 1968 short The Perfect Human, which was later revisited in the 2003 film The Five Obstructions, a project he co-directed with Lars von Trier. He served as a creative consultant for the Danish Film Institute and was chairman of its board in 1977. He also held a professorship at the Danish National Film School in Copenhagen. Died September 29, 2025, he was 88 years. Alison Drower. She was an Australian television, radio, and motorsport presenter and newsreader. Alison Drower began her career in radio as a breakfast newsreader on Triple M, including during Doug Mulray's popular morning program. In the 1980s, she transitioned to television, becoming one of the presenters on MTV Australia and working alongside Richard Wilkins during the channel's early years. In the 1990s, Drower broadened her career into television presenting and motorsport coverage. She appeared on RPM on Network 10, where she reported on a variety of motorsport events, including the V8 Supercars, World Rally Championship, and MotoGP. She also contributed to the coverage of the Procar Championship Series. In 2024, she was featured on the podcast Rusty's Garage, where she discussed her career in Australian media and motorsport broadcasting. Died September 28, 2025. She was 60 years, died after a short battle with cancer. Carlo Sassi. He was an Italian sports journalist and television writer, recognized for introducing systematic slow-motion analysis to Italian television and for shaping the style of football debate for many years. He became particularly associated with the Moviola segment on La Domenica Sportiva, where from the late 1960s he used slow-motion replays as a weekly tool for interpreting refereeing decisions and influencing the broader culture of Italian football. Sassi began working for the national broadcaster RAI in 1960 and was involved from the start with Sports Sunday, the country's longest-running sports program. He was also involved in later debates surrounding the controversial Gol di Turon from the 1981 match between Juventus and AS Roma, as interviews on the subject revived long-standing disputes and generated renewed discussion in the national press. Died September 28, 2025. He was 95 years, died due to serious head and facial trauma. Enzo Osella. He was an Italian racing driver and team owner, best known as the founder and chairman of the Italian car manufacturer Osella. His team entered Formula One in 1980. Beginning in 1957, Osella competed as a co-driver in various events, including the Sestriere Rally. He later moved into driving himself, initially racing in his sister's Fiat 600. He subsequently acquired a Lotus 11, which he modified with an Oscar engine and an Alfa Romeo differential, and used it to compete in Hillclimb races. Enzo Osella was married and had 2 children. Died September 27, 2025. He was 86 years. Adriana Eisenberg. She was an Argentine actress who worked in film, television, and theater. She appeared in more than 40 films and numerous television series throughout her career, and was regarded as one of Argentina's most versatile character actresses. Eisenberg made her film debut in Every Sun is Bitter, 1966, followed by a role in The ABC of Love, 1967. In 2006, she was nominated for the South Award for Best Actress for Through Your Eyes. In 2011, she received the Diploma of Merit from the Konex Awards as one of the 5 best film actresses of the decade in Argentina. Died September 29, 2025. She was 86 years. Berta Lauren. She was a Polish-born Brazilian actress. In the 1940s, encouraged by her father, she decided to pursue a career in acting and adopted Berta Lauren as her stage name. Lauren started her stage career in the early 1950s, appearing in theatrical reviews in Rio de Janeiro. She made her professional debut in 1952 at the Teatro Carlos Gomez. Her first screen role was in Sinfonia Carioca, 1955, directed by Watson Macedo, and she later went on to act in a number of musical comedies. Died September 29, 2025. She was 99 years. Chris Dreja. He was an English musician and photographer, best known as the rhythm guitarist and bassist for the rock band The Yardbirds, with whom he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. In the 1980s, Dreja performed with the Yardbirds spin-off band Box of Frogs, and later took part in the Yardbirds Reformation in 1992. The group re-emerged in 2002 with the release of a new album, Birdland. Dreja suffered a series of strokes in 2012 and 2013, and he had not performed with the Yardbirds since mid-2012. Died October 1, 2025. He was 79 years, died after a long illness. Joshua Allen. He was an American dancer and actor, best known as the winner of the 4th season of So You Think You Can Dance. He originally auditioned in Dallas, Texas, alongside his friend and fellow contestant Comfort Fedoke. Allen was announced as the winner of the competition in August 2008, receiving a prize of $250,000. Allen began dancing in the 3rd grade at the age of 8. Inspired early on by Michael Jackson, he often imitated the singer's moves, including the moonwalk. In addition to dance, he was active in sports such as football and track. After transferring to a new high school, Allen chose to concentrate on dance, which had become his primary passion. As part of his prize for winning So You Think You Can Dance Season 4, Allen appeared as a featured dancer in Step Up 3D 2010, alongside fellow finalists Katie Sheen and Steven Twitch Boss. He also performed in the dance comedy Freak Dance and participated as one of the professional dancers in Season 2 of Oxygen's Dance Your Ass Off. In 2011, Allen was featured in the remake of the musical film Footloose. Beyond film and television, he appeared in commercials and promotional videos for companies including Honda, McDonald's, and the United States Census. His television credits included guest appearances as a dancer on shows such as Community and American Horror Story. Died September 30th, 2025. He was 36 years. Died after struck by a train. Lawrence Moten. He was an American professional basketball player who spent 3 seasons in the National Basketball Association with the Vancouver Grizzlies and the Washington Wizards. At the collegiate level, he starred for the Syracuse Orange, where he earned All-American honors and graduated as the program's all-time leading scorer. He remains the only player in Syracuse history to score 500 or more points in 4 consecutive seasons, and was the first since Hall of Famer Dave Bing to lead the program in scoring for 3 straight years. He was selected by the Vancouver Grizzlies in the second round of the 1995 NBA draft. He played 2 seasons with the Grizzlies, 1995 to 1997, before joining the Washington Wizards for the 1997 season. Following his NBA career, he competed in the Continental Basketball Association, CBA, and American Basketball Association, ABA, as well as in professional leagues in Spain and Venezuela. Died September 30th, 2025. He was 53 years. Judith Elek. She was a Hungarian film director and screenwriter. Over the course of her career, she directed 16 films between 1962 and 2006. Her 1984 film Maria Knapp was screened in the Uncertain Regard section at the Cannes Film Festival. During this period, she was a founding member of the Balázs Béla Studio, a workshop for experimental film. In 1968, Elek directed her first feature film, The Lady from Constantinople. From the 1980s onwards, she focused on historical films, including The Trial of Martinovics and The Hungarian Jacobins, 1980. She was born 1937 and died October 1st, 2025. She was 87 years. Patrick Murray. He was a British actor. He was best known for his role as Mickey Pearce in Only Fools and Horses, appearing in 20 episodes from 1983 onwards. In 1977, he appeared in the television play Scum, and later reprised his role in the 1979 film adaptation, both alongside Ray Winstone. That same year, he also starred in the film Quadrophenia, appearing in a cast that included Sting, Toya Wilcox, Michael Elphick, and Timothy Spall. In 1989, he appeared in the television film The Firm alongside Gary Oldman. Murray retired from acting and worked as a cab driver to meet the minimum income requirements for non-European spouses, enabling him to bring his wife, Anong, and their daughter, Josie, to the United Kingdom. In January 2021, Murray revealed that he had been diagnosed with lung cancer. Died October 2nd, 2025. He was 68 years due to lung cancer. Jim McNeely. He was an American jazz pianist, composer, arranger, and educator. In 1981, he began a 4-year tenure as pianist and composer with the Stan Getz Quartet. He later joined the Phil Woods Quintet in 1990 as its pianist. In 1996, he returned to the Vanguard Jazz Orchestra, this time as pianist, and continued his association with the ensemble as its composer-in-residence. McNeely also led his own tentet and trio, and performed as a soloist at concerts and festivals around the world. As a bandleader, he released more than 20 albums and received 12 Grammy Award nominations between 1997 and 2019. As a member of the Vanguard Jazz Orchestra, he won a Grammy Award in 2008 for the album Monday Night Live at the Village Vanguard. He was born 1949 and died September 26, 2025. He was 76 years. Died due to cancer.